Hello and welcome to a new edition of This Is a Vlog. Short-ish one today because I kind of want to get through this very quickly because his birthday is nearly over. But this is a tribute vlog, one of a few I'm probably going to end up doing. Just a bit of fun, you know? For those of you who are not aware, today is the 65th birthday of the musician known as Bruce Springsteen. He is one of my personal favourites. I have seen him live, he is absolutely incredible and I love him to pieces. So in honour of the boss, I have decided to compile a list of my 10 all-time favourite Bruce Springsteen tracks and just talk a little bit about them and what they mean to me in a way of celebrating his birthday by celebrating his music and how it's personally affected me over the years. So let's start the countdown at number 10. Death to My Hometown is one of the more recent songs from one of his recent albums, Wrecking Ball, which came out in 2012. It's basically about an invasion of your hometown, about what happens when people who are against your ideology come at you and how you try and defend yourself morally and defend the rest of your town who you've grown up with from certain death. What I like about this song is the words are, well, they're catchy. It's more about the sort of Irish, it sounds very Irish in the music. At the start it's got the sort of flutes and the male voice choirs. It does sound very Irish/Welsh. But in the live version there are much more heavy guitars, and if you watch numerous videos there's actually a little bit of a guest star in Tom Morello, who is famously from Rage Against the Machine. I like Rage Against the Machine, so I'm quite happy with that crossover. Janie Don't You Lose Heart is one of those Springsteen ballads that, although it is a ballad, it's quite uplifting. It has that sort of stereotypical Springsteen sound with, you know, with what you can identify as sort of elements of the E Street Band, but at the same time it's got that, although there is a sad story underlying it, there is the uplifting angle of the words. The way I interpret it is, things may go wrong, things may go to shit, but at the end of the day you've really got to sort of look up and look at what you can do and look at the positives of everything and just don't lose faith in what you've done. And I like a song with a meaning. I'm a bit of a sucker for those. Tougher Than the Rest is a 1987 love song, full in the swing of the 80s, electronics, big drum beats and all this, but still that sort of stereotypical and recognisable Bruce Springsteen vibe from it. And it talks about how love is not always straightforward, the course of true love never did run smooth, and it's sort of telling you that he's met someone and he knows that she's had really bad stuff happen to her, bad experiences, but he says, I don't care about that, you know, if you're ready for love, I'll take you, and I'm tougher than you think. And that's what that song sort of genuinely kind of means. At least that's what the lyrics portray. And who doesn't love a love song? Prove It All Night for me is incredible in two ways. First of all, it's off my favourite Springsteen album, which is Darkness on the Edge of Town. Secondly, the lyrics are much more relevant to my age group, sort of older teenagers, young adults. That feeling of, I just want to forget authority, I just want to do things I might regret and do things that I want to, might get me into trouble. And I like that kind of rebellious nature of it. It's kind of like, especially when it says, baby tie your hair back in a long white bow, meet me in the fields behind the dynamo, they've made their choices and they'll never know. And that sort of verse is very much, just forget everything, come with me. And it's a common theme throughout Springsteen's stuff, but this is one of the two songs where I think it's absolutely portrayed wonderfully. Another song off of Darkness on the Edge of Town, Adam Raised a Cain, for me, is more of his heavier side. It shows more of Springsteen's heavy rock side, because that riff is kind of imaginable with distorted guitars. It just fits in well with the heavy rock metal genre. There are biblical references, it's got the music, it's got the vocal power, those sort of powering vocals within it. That as a rock song, as well as a Springsteen song, it does rate very highly. Because it is something slightly different to what was going on in the rest of the album, it is something radically different to what he's done before. And I suppose in the grand scheme of things, to what he's done since. He hasn't done very many heavy rock songs. So Adam Raised a Cain is very much unique in its own right. Fun story about a personal connection to this song. I was at the pub not long ago. Karaoke was on. I got a bit drunk and decided to sing I'm on Fire. The hen night was going on and I found out that it was the bride's favourite song, so I sang it. I didn't realise the karaoke version is in a different key to the original. Couldn't find the key while I was drunk, and I apparently ruined her hen night. But I'm on Fire is one of those really pretty songs most people do, and it's just really simple. There's no big thing to it. It's very simplistic, and I like that about that. And as much as I detest Mumford and Sons, they've actually covered the song rather well. So, yeah. First heard this song when I saw him live. It was the second song he played in his set list, and I just remember hearing it and just thinking, this is a really pretty song. Talks about how he grew up, well, how this particular character grew up, and sort of how it feels to be in a community, how it feels to be in a town where everyone knows each other, everyone cares about each other, and how growing up in such a town can be good for you. I mean, I never personally felt that growing up where I came from, because it was a bigger town than perhaps the one depicted in the song, but I just liked the idea of it. I just liked how it sounded. A song from one of my favourite films, Philadelphia, starring Tom Hanks, about someone who contracts AIDS and is thrown out onto the street from his top lawyer's job. It's always been a song I've tried to cover. I've made a pretty decent instrumental to it. As for vocals, still not quite getting there. But I love the message of it, of brotherhood and facing your own mortality. I like how that's conveyed in a very minimalistic manner. Fun fact, Bruce Springsteen won an Oscar award for this song, and that's not why it's one of my favourites. It just happens to be in the list because I love the song, I love the film it's from, and it just made me cry the first time I heard it. So, sucker for a ballad. What can I say? I love a good ballad. Again, very stripped back. The words, I don't know how to interpret the words. They are a bit odd, but I just like the sound of it, because it's one of those songs, personally, that doesn't quite make sense, but it does make sense. You can kind of relate to it in a really kind of weird way. You don't need to understand it because you already know what he's saying. And I like songs like that. There are songs like that everyone has, I think. So my favourite Bruce Springsteen song ever, and probably always will be, is Thunder Road. Now, Thunder Road for me is the ultimate song about freedom, the open road, doing whatever you want to do, going wherever you want to go, leaving everything behind, starting again, you name it, that's what it means to me. I first heard it when I got Bruce Springsteen's Greatest Hits, it's track 2, and I immediately fell in love with it. I just loved the piano work, I loved the lyrics, I just loved everything about it, and the instrumental at the end is one of my all-time favourite musical passages. It just means a lot to me, and I have this weird dream, because I'm starting to think to myself whether I want to learn to ride a motorbike. I've just got this lovely idea that one day I can borrow a helmet that has speakers in it, just put Thunder Road on full blast and just cycle a bike down a straight road. If I could do that before I died, I'd be a very happy Joshy indeed. It's just a beautiful song to me, and I've heard it done solo acoustically by Springsteen, which in my eyes makes it better. I've also heard it done with piano with the build-up at the end. Again, that's wonderful. And I've heard him play it live solo acoustically, and I was a very happy bunny when that happened. But yes, my favourite all-time Bruce Springsteen song is Thunder Road, because that is the song that Bruce Springsteen does that means the most to me. So happy birthday, Bruce Springsteen, happy 65th, don't do anything I wouldn't do, and please keep making music.